Mahabharata, Draupadi's Fate Sealed. Season 2, Episode 4. The crowd still echoed, with shock, with anger, with disbelief. A Brahmin had defeated kings. But Arjuna was no ordinary Brahmin, and Bhima was no ordinary man. Together, they walked away from the chaos, calm, unstoppable. Draupadi followed, silent, yet certain, leaving behind a sabha shaken and a world beginning to question what it had just witnessed. But they were not unseen. Among those who watched were two brothers, Krishna and Balaram. Calm, observant, their eyes followed the Pandavas, not with curiosity, but with certainty. Krishna smiled, not in surprise, but in quiet recognition. "The sons of Pandu," he said softly, "alive and rising." Balaram looked again, more closely this time, and slowly he understood. Destiny was no longer hidden. It had stepped forward, and they were not the only ones watching. From a distance, hidden among the pillars, unmoving, unblinking, Drishtadyumna, son of Draupadi, born of fire, for a purpose. He watched, not as a spectator, but as a warrior. Every movement, every step, every strike. The Brahmins who fought like kings, the strength of Bhima, raw, undeniable. The precision of Arjuna, flawless, controlled. And something more, a presence, a familiarity that could not be ignored. He followed them, silently, carefully, never too close, never seen. Through the streets, beyond the palace, away from the noise of kings, until they reached a humble hut. There, the truth revealed itself. He saw the Pandavas return to their humble dwelling, a simple hut where Kunti waited, unaware of what had just unfolded. Arjuna stepped forward, a quiet smile in his voice. "Mother, see what we have brought today." Inside the hut, without looking, without knowing, Kunti replied, "Whatever it is, share it equally among yourselves." The words, spoken in habit, in trust, simple, innocent, but once spoken, they became law. Silence fell, not sudden, but heavy. The brothers looked at one another. Draupadi stood still. Kunti stepped out and saw. Not food, not arms, but a princess, Draupadi. For a moment, time itself paused. A mother's mistake, or the voice of destiny? What had she done? Yudhishthira, calm as ever, unshaken by chaos, spoke gently. "Mother's words are our dharma." Not a question, not a doubt, a decision. Bhima said nothing, but his silence was not empty. Arjuna, the victor, lowered his gaze. Nakula, Sahadeva, watched, caught between duty and disbelief. And Draupadi faced a destiny no woman had ever faced before. Not chosen by her alone, but shaped by forces far greater. And then, a presence arrived. Sage Vyasa, calm, all-knowing, as if time itself moved with him. He spoke, not to resolve confusion, but to reveal truth. In another life, Draupadi had prayed for a husband with 5 great qualities: strength, wisdom, skill, beauty, and righteousness. And so, he said, she has been granted not 1, but 5. Everything fell still, not in doubt, but in acceptance. This was no mistake. This was fate, unfolding exactly as it was meant to. Drishtadyumna, who had waited, who had watched everything, was just about to leave, when another moment unfolded. Krishna and Balram approached the hut. No guards, no announcement, no need. Presence alone was enough. Drishtadyumna watched, hidden, breath held, as they entered. Inside, Krishna stood before the Pandavas. His gaze deep, knowing, as if he saw not just who they were, but who they would become. No introductions were needed, no questions asked, only recognition, only alignment. As if this meeting had been written long before this day. Outside, Drishtadyumna waited, watching them enter, watching them leave. And when they did, there was no doubt left. He turned and went straight back to his father. "Father," he said, "the Brahmins are no Brahmins. They are warriors, great warriors, and I believe they are the Pandavas, alive, the sons of Pandu, the rightful heirs of Hastinapur." King Drupada listened silently, not reacting, but absorbing. His eyes narrowed, not in suspicion, but in realization, hope, caution, and something deeper. If this was true, then this was no coincidence. This was destiny, arriving at his door. Shock turned to purpose. What once seemed uncertain now became clear. These were no wandering Brahmins, no unknown men. They were the sons of Pandu, alive. And Draupadi had not gone with strangers. She had gone with destiny. King Drupada sat in silence, not with doubt, but with thought. The fire that had given him a daughter had now brought the Pandavas to his door. He looked at Drishtadyumna, and then he gave the order. "Send for them." The Pandavas were still in the humble hut, still hidden from the world, but not for long. Drupada now knew the truth, and the next step would change everything. A royal summons was sent, and with it came recognition, revelation, and soon a marriage, unlike any the world had ever seen. But far away, in Hastinapur, the first whispers had already begun. The Pandavas were alive, and Duryodhana's heart burned once more, not with doubt, but with fear and rising anger. The game was far from over. The story continues. If you're enjoying this journey through the Mahabharata, don't forget to subscribe to ASA Hindu Wisdom and continue the story with us.